Hey everyone, I'm Bianca Jordan, immigration attorney at Brazen Legal, an immigration law firm that helps people get green cards in the US. If you'd like to work with us on your immigration case, give my office a call at 508-942-7497, or you can visit brazenlegal.com/contact to book a consultation with us today. So this video is going to cover the Build Back Better bill, and specifically the immigration reform that is proposed in this bill. Earlier today, November 19th, 2021, the House passed their version of this bill, which includes some comprehensive immigration reform as well. I want to note that while this version of the bill and the proposals do not create a direct path to citizenship, it is still an important step forward to allow up to 7 million undocumented people to have some form of legal status in the US. So I want to go through some of the key provisions that relate to immigration reform. I do have some notes with me today, so please bear with me. All right, so here's what you need to know about immigration reform in this bill. First, it would impact people who have been living in the United States since at least January 1st, 2011. So that means if you came to the US after that date, then as of right now, you would not be eligible. So what kinds of benefits would people have under this bill? So first, it would give you a work permit and parole. And the parole would enable you to have legal status in the US, and obviously the work permit allows you to work legally in the US. This would be given for a period of 5 years, and you could renew it one time, so you can have this parole and work permit for up to 10 years, and it would expire on or before September 30th, 2031. So people who are eligible for this work permit and parole, you would have to first pass a background check, and you also have to show that you are otherwise admissible. And if you were inadmissible, for example, if you have any criminal issues, for example, if you qualify for a waiver for this, you'd be able to apply for a waiver, but you would not be able to get the work permit or the parole unless you pass a background check and you're admissible, or if you're inadmissible, you qualify for and you receive a waiver. Another good thing about this bill, if it were to pass as is that it would allow people to recapture these green cards. So there are a lot of green cards that have gone to waste, really, because of a lot of various reasons. But under this bill's proposal, people would be able to recapture these green cards, some even dating back to, I want to say, the early 90s. And this would enable people to get green cards. This would possibly enable certain categories like the sibling category, which right now the F4 category is taking forever. For some people, it's taking a minimum of 15 years to get a green card through your US citizen sister or brother. This would free up some of that so that people would be able to get a green card a little bit faster. And speaking of getting a green card a little bit faster, this proposal would also enable certain people who have been waiting for a green card for at least 2 years to be able to pay a fee, and then they would be able to possibly get their green card a little bit faster. Similarly, you've got to pass a background check, and you've also got to be admissible. But if this proposal were to pass, then you would be able to get a green card a little bit easier, a little bit faster. If you have been waiting for over 2 years, as I mentioned, many people have been waiting decades for their green card. Certain people would be able to pay a fee, and then they can get their green card a little bit faster. Again, this isn't a direct pathway to citizenship. And what I mean by that is there are other proposals that, if they had passed, they would grant people green cards. For example, just as a recap, earlier this year, back in March, we have a couple bills that passed the House. We've got the American Dream and Promise Act, which, if that passed, then it would have given a green card to people that have DACA, Dreamers, people that have TPS, people that have delayed enforced departure. They would have been able to get a green card, which is a specific direct path to citizenship. Similarly, the Farm Workers Modernization Act, which passed the House back in March, would have also been able to give certain farm workers a direct path to citizenship by giving them the opportunity to get a green card if they paid a fee and if they agreed to work in a certain agriculture position for X amount of time. So to contrast those bills with the Build Back Better, the difference is that the parole and the work permit obviously is not a direct path to U.S. citizenship. Additionally, it would expire on or before September 30th, 2031. So it's limited in both its duration and the fact that it's not directly giving people a green card or a path to citizenship. However, it is very possible that if this passes and people are able to get parole, they would be able to travel outside of the United States on advanced parole and then come back to America, which for some people would make the difference in enabling them to now get a green card in the US through adjustment of status. This is obviously provided they don't change anything else, but there are a lot of people who are currently in the United States undocumented, or maybe they have another status like DACA or TPS or something like that, but because they came here undocumented, they can't adjust, meaning they cannot get their green card here. For example, maybe they came here undocumented when they were a kid, and now they're married to a US citizen. They won't be able to adjust their status because they came here undocumented. But if they were able to travel on advanced parole and come back to the US, then they would be able to they would be able to adjust their status. So while this does not create that direct, we're passing this bill and giving all of these people green cards directly, it is creating a mechanism by which people can, with their parole, travel outside of the United States. And then when they come back to the US, they would have that lawful entry that could possibly enable them to be able to adjust status and get a green card through their spouses and their children and their parents and what have you. Again, none of this is finalized. This is just a bill that passed in the House. Next steps are if the Senate parliamentarian says no yet again. The Senate parliamentarian has already rejected a couple versions of these bills, this reconciliation bill with immigration reform in there. Let's say that the Senate parliamentarian yet again says no. Then what? So then the Senate will need to decide whether they're going to go back to the drawing board and create yet another version of an immigration reform plan to then present to the Senate parliamentarian and do it all over again. Or the Senate can decide, thanks for your recommendation, Senate parliamentarian, but we're going to pass this bill as is. So again, just want to remind people that this is not set in stone. This bill has not become law. There have been people that have been trying to get people to pay certain people for immigration benefits under these bills. Please know that this is not law yet. So please do not hire anyone who promises they can get you a green card or parole under any of these programs. Nothing is law yet, but we are one step closer to finally getting some relief for people that have been here in this country undocumented. I hope you found this video helpful. Please visit brazenlegal.com to learn more about me and my law firm. Follow us on Brazen Lawyer on Instagram, really all social media, but we tend to spend the most amount of time on Instagram at Brazen Lawyer. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next one, and drop your questions in the comments. Thanks for watching.